What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we're going to take a look at The Hunchback of Notre Dame, starring Tom Hulce, Demi Moore, Tony Jay, Kevin Kline, Charles Kimbrough, Jason Alexander, Mary Wicks, Pat Candell, David Ogden Stiers, Frank Welker, Corey Burton, and Jim Cummings. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And as I alluded to during the introduction, today's trip into the Disney Vault takes us to The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And as our movie opens, it is the year 1482 in Paris, France, where a gypsy puppeteer named Clopin narrates the origins of the titular hunchback from events that happened 20 years prior. Clopin tells us that a group of gypsies were sneaking into Paris illegally, and they were ambushed by Judge Claude Frollo, who is Paris's Minister of Justice, along with his soldiers. Now, one woman in particular attempts to flee with her newborn baby, and she reaches the doors of the Notre Dame Cathedral where she pleads sanctuary. However, Frollo chases her down and knocks her onto the cathedral steps, where she fractures her skull and dies. Her baby, however, survives, and Frollo, who is repulsed at its deformed appearance, attempts to drown the child. But the archdeacon intervenes, and he accuses Frollo of murdering an innocent woman. So, in order to atone for his sins, Frollo reluctantly agrees to raise the child on his own, naming him Quasimodo, which means half-formed, and hides him away in the cathedral's bell tower. It is now 20 years later, and Quasimodo has grown into a kind yet isolated young man, now with a pronounced hunchback. He has lived his entire life within the cathedral, with his only company being living stone gargoyles named Victor, Hugo, and Laverne. Of course, Victor Hugo, the author of Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, the gargoyles encourage Quasi to attend the Festival of Fools, despite Frollo's warnings that he would be shunned for his deformity. Quasimodo attends and ends up being celebrated for his appearance. But then, prompted by Frollo's guards, he is humiliated by the crowd. Frollo refuses Quasimodo's pleas for help, but is instead rescued by Esmeralda, a kind gypsy woman. Frollo, who intends to eradicate Paris of all the gypsies, orders for Esmeralda to be arrested, but Esmeralda is able to escape using a magic trick. Quasimodo retreats back into the cathedral, followed by Esmeralda and Captain Phoebus of Frollo's guard. Now, Phoebus refuses to arrest her for alleged witchcraft inside of the Notre Dame Cathedral by telling Frollo that she has claimed asylum. Esmeralda then finds and befriends Quasimodo, who helps her escape Notre Dame out of gratitude for defending him. She entrusts Quasimodo with a pendant containing a map to the gypsies' hideout, the Court of Miracles. Frollo ends up developing lustful feelings for Esmeralda, but upon realizing them, he begs the Virgin Mary to save him from her spell and avoid eternal damnation. When Frollo discovers that Esmeralda has escaped, he begins a ruthless search of the city, bribing and arresting gypsies and setting fire to their homes in order to try and find her. Phoebus defies Frollo when he is ordered to burn down a house with the family inside of it, and Frollo orders Phoebus to be executed. Phoebus flees, but he is struck by an arrow and falls into the river Seine, where he is found by Esmeralda and taken to the Notre Dame Cathedral for refuge. The gargoyles encourage Quasimodo to confess his feelings for Esmeralda, but he is heartbroken to discover that she and Phoebus have fallen in love. Realizing that Quasimodo helped Esmeralda escape, Frollo tells him that he knows about the Court of Miracles and plans to attack it at dawn. By using the map that Esmeralda gave him, Quasi and Phoebus find the court and pre-warn the gypsies, only for Frollo to follow them and capture all of the gypsies present. Rejecting Frollo's advances, Esmeralda is set to be burned at the stake at Place du Parvis, but she is rescued by Quasimodo. After bringing her inside, he and the gargoyles pour molten lead onto the streets in order to prevent anyone from entering the cathedral. Phoebus releases the gypsies and he rallies the Paris citizens against Frollo's guards, while Frollo himself breaks into the cathedral. Frollo pursues Quasimodo and Esmeralda to the bell tower, where he and Quasimodo fight, eventually both falling from a ledge. Frollo plummets to his death within the molten lead, while Quasimodo is saved by Phoebus. Quasimodo accepts Phoebus as Esmeralda's love, and they encourage him to finally leave the cathedral. As he does, the people of Paris hail him as a hero as our movie comes to its end. This movie is another one that I've only gotten into in recent years, and it's primarily my fault because I have been so hung up on the classics. I am a huge fan of the Lon Chaney Sr. silent film from 1925, I want to say, of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, when I first heard about this, I was like, nah, not touching it with a 10-foot pole, not touching it with a 20-foot pole. This is not The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I was so stuck in my ways over my love and adoration of the silent film, I wasn't even willing to give this one a chance. And then one day I did. And I regretted not having seen it sooner. Because this is a damn good film. This is a good retelling of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I enjoy all the characters' portrayals. I think Quasimodo is beautifully represented, so sympathetic. You can't help but love him despite his deformity. Esmeralda is gorgeous. The only completely Disney character of the 90s to give Jasmine a run for her money as far as I was concerned. There have been a few since then, but as far as during the Renaissance period, Jasmine and Esmeralda, baby, neck and neck in a lot of ways. I thought Frollo was an amazing villain, so well portrayed. Tony J, so good. Matter of fact, when they did the Jungle Book 2, Tony J was the voice of Shere Khan. If you just listen to him talk as Frollo, you very much can hear Shere Khan in his voice. He just has that presence about him. So it was a natural when they did the sequel to Jungle Book, he would be cast as Khan. Everybody was so good. The gargoyles, the little nod of the cap of naming two of the three gargoyles, Victor and Hugo, after Victor Hugo, the author of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Very nice touch. Not sure how many people that were the target demographic, the Disney kids. Not sure how many of them picked up on that back in the day. Obviously, the teenagers and the adults got it, but you figure 90% of the animated films that Disney puts out are geared towards 10 and under. Well, I'll even go ahead and I'll say 12 and under. They're geared to kids that aren't quite teens yet. So how many of them got that joke is something I would be curious to know. But I digress. Again, I completely regret not having seen this sooner when it came out in theaters. Out There is an amazing song, as is Topsy Turvey. If you pay close attention to the song, Topsy Turvey Day is the 6th of January. My daughter was born on January 6th, y'all. Her birthday is Topsy Turvey Day every year. And now that I've seen this film, I think that's so cool to have that personal tie to a Disney movie and song. I'm curious to know what you guys think. When it comes to my rating of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. Like I've said a couple times, I am so mad at myself that I didn't watch this film when it first came out, or even in the couple years following when it first hit VHS. I'm so mad at myself for waiting. Within the last 10 years, I saw this the first time. And as a tried and true Disney fanatic, I kick myself now for this. So that is what I think of it. What do you guys think? Let me know if you're watching the premiere. Leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. But let's engage in that commentary. Let's have that friendly banter back and forth, discussing our love for these Disney movies. I'm curious to know your thoughts on The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Make sure you guys tune in on Friday, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews when I round out the week taking a look at Hercules, starring Tate Donovan, Danny DeVito, James Woods, Susan Egan, Rip Torn, Samantha Eggar, Bobcat Goldthwait, Matt Frewer, Amanda Plummer, Jim Cummings, Wayne Knight, and Keith David. You're not going to want to miss out on that right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, right here on another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews when I take a look at Hercules, the first film this month that I had never seen start to finish until I watched it to review it. What did I think of it? You'll have to tune in Friday and find out. To all my loyal fans and viewers out there, thank you for tuning in and joining me today. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn that notification bell on so you can be alerted anytime that I post a brand new video. Make sure you share this video with your family, friends, other movie lovers, other cinephiles, other Disney fanatics, fans of literary classics, fans of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Share this video with them so it can get out there to the proper people who might enjoy my content, help boost up my visibility in the YouTube algorithms so I can eventually get monetized and make some money on this endeavor. Thank you once again to everybody who tuned in and joined me here today, and I will see you guys next time.